13 amazing things you may not have known about the Great Sphinx of Giza.
Homeric origins.
Please subscribe and enable notifications so that you will not miss any further update on this channel, and hit the thumbs up below if you enjoyed this video. Between its expansive mythology, nebulous origin, and alleged connection to ancient wars, the Sphinx is a proverbial treasure trove of esoteric history and information. Here are a few things you might not have known about the towering desert dweller. 1. The Sphinx went through beard phase. Today, remnants of the Great Sphinx beard, which was eventually shaved off the statue's skin via erosion, lived in the British Museum and the Museum of Egyptian Antiquities, established in Cairo in 1858. However, French archaeologist Vassil Dobrev asserts that the beard was not an original component of the statue but a later amendment. Dobrev backed up his hypothesis with the argument a removal of beards, if attached from the get-go, would have resulted in damage to the statue's skin. That isn't readily apparent. The British Museum supported Dobrev's assessment, proposing that the beard was added to the Sphinx at some point during or soon after Thutmose's foot restoration projects. 2. The Sphinx is the focus of a few astronomical theories. The enigma of the Great Sphinx of Giza had made it a key part of a number of theories about the ancient Egyptians' supernatural comprehension of extraterrestrial matters. Some scholars, such as Lena, have discussed the Sphinx's involvement alongside the pyramids of the Giza necropolis in a massive power-harnessing machine meant to digest energy from the sun. Another theory, propagated chiefly by British writer Graham Hancock, notes an alignment of the Sphinx, the pyramids, and the Nile River with the stars of the constellation Leo and Orion and the Milky Way. Each theory has encountered its share of skepticism, but with a statue as mysterious as the Great Sphinx, the speculation isn't likely to stop anytime soon. 3. The sculpture has spent quite a bit of time buried under the sand. The Great Sphinx has fallen victim to the shifting sands of the Egyptian desert several times during its long life. The first known restoration of the nearly completely buried Sphinx occurred just prior to the 14th century BCE, thanks to Thutmose IV, who would soon ascend to the throne as Egypt's pharaoh. The 3 millennia that followed again buried the monument. By the 19th century, the statue's front arm lived deep beneath the working surface of Giza. It wasn't until the 1920s that the statue would once again be fully excavated. 4. The Sphinx temporarily lost its crown in the 1920s. During this most recent restoration, the Great Sphinx suffered the loss of part of its iconic headdress as well as severe damage to the head and neck. Consequently, the Egyptian government employed a team of engineers to patch up the statue in 1931. But this restoration began wreaking havoc on the soft limestone, and in 1988, a 700-pound piece of the shoulder fell up in front of a German reporter. So, the Egyptian government embarked on a massive restoration effort to undo the damage that earlier restorers had done. 5. Napoleon isn't to blame for the Sphinx's missing nose. The mystery of the Great Sphinx's lack of nose has generated all kinds of myths and speculation. The most pervasive of these legends blame Napoleon Bonaparte for blasting the protuberance away in a fit of militaristic pride. It is a great story, but 18th century sketches of the Sphinx indicates that the statue's dismemberment occurred before the French emperor was even born. Historical writings from the early 15th century accuse a devout Sufi Muslim named Muhammad Sa'im al-Dahar of defacing the monument in an effort to undermine the idolatry of Sphinx worshippers. 6. Technically, the Great Sphinx of Giza is not a sphinx, not a traditional sphinx anyway, Although heavily influenced by Egyptian and later Mesopotamian mythology, the classical Greek depiction of the Sphinx consists of the body of a lion, the head of a woman, and the wings of a bird. Giza's male identifying landmark is technically an androsphinx. The lack of wings further models its accepted taxonomy. 7. Laborers who constructed the statue ate like kings. Most scientists' initial assumption was that the men who toiled to bring the Sphinx to life belonged to an enslaved caste. Their diet would suggest otherwise. However, excavations led by Lena revealed that the statue's laborer regularly dined on luscious cuts of prime beef, sheep, and goat meats. 8. In its early days, the sculpture went by a few different names. This ambiguity helps account for the fact that ancient Egyptians didn't originally identify the behemoth creature as the Great Sphinx. In the text on the Dream Stela from about 1400 BCE, it is referred to as a statue of the very great Khepri. When Thutmose IV slept next to it, he dreamed that the god Harem Akhet's Khepri Atum came to him and revealed that he was Thutmose's father, and if Thutmose cleared the sun around the statue, he would become ruler of all Egypt. After this event, the statue became known as Horem Akhet, which translates as Horus of the horizon. Medieval Egyptians gave the Sphinx various monikers, including Bahib and Bihar. 9. Nobody is quite sure who built the Sphinx. The Great Sphinx of Giza is such a marvelous piece of work that it is surprising nobody bothered to take credit for it. Even now, without definitive evidence of the statue's age, modern archaeologists are split over which ancient Egyptian pharaoh created the landmark. A popular theory is that Sphinx imagined during the rule of Khafre, whose reign during the 4th dynasty of the Old Kingdom would give the statue a birth date in the neighborhood of 2500 BCE. The pharaoh is credited with the aptly named Pyramid of Khafre, the second largest constituent of the Giza necropolis and of the adjacent valley and mortuary temples. This collection's proximity to the Sphinx would tend to support the belief that Khafre was likewise responsible for its development, as do the similarities between the Sphinx's face and monument of the pharaoh's likeness. However, without documentation of age of the Sphinx, some scholars have forwarded the notion that the statues predated the works of Khafre. Some attribute construction to Khafre's father Khufu, the pharaoh who oversaw creation of the Great Pyramids of Giza, and to Khafre's half-brother Jidefre. Others date the Sphinx back much further. Ostensible water damage to the face and head has prompted the theory that the Great Sphinx lived through an era during which extensive rainfall rocked the region, which could peg the statue's origin as early as 6000 BC. 10. Whoever it was that built it abandoned the job in a hurry. A number of findings suggest that the Sphinx was originally intended to be an even greater accomplishment than which we see today. American archaeologist Mark Lehner and Egyptian archaeologist Zahi Hawass discovered large stone blocks, toolkits, and if you can believe it, launches apparently abandoned midway through a workday. 11. The Sphinx was once rather colorful, though it is now indistinct from the drab town of its sandy surroundings. The Sphinx may at one time have been completely covered in vivid paints. Remnants of red can be found in the statue's face, while hints of blue and yellow remains on the body. 12. A cult venerated the Sphinx long after it was built. Thanks to Thutmose's mythical vision at the Sphinx, the sculpture and its represented mythological deity began to win new popularity during the 14th century BC. Pharaohs ruling over the New Kingdom even ordered the development of a new temple from which the Great Sphinx might be observed and revered. 13. The Egyptian Sphinx is much kinder than its Greek cousin. The Sphinx's modern reputation for tyranny and trickery was brought forth not from Egyptian mythology but Greek. The creature's most famous appearance in ancient Greek lore came from her run-in with Oedipus, whom she challenged with her allegedly unsolvable riddle. Ancient Egyptian culture valued its Sphinx as much more benevolent, albeit no less powerful, godlike figure. Please remember that you can contribute to this discussion by dropping your comment in comment section. Like and share this video with your friends and family if you enjoy it. Don't forget to subscribe and enable all notifications on this channel so that you don't miss any new updates. Thank you for watching this video. See you in the next video. Peace.
Homeric origins.